Let's continue doing the independent practice. Here we have 48 divided by the number 4. So let's see how can we do it. Step 1, we take the first number, which is the 4. The 4 is equal to the 4. So yes, you're ready to start. How can we find the 4 from the times table of the number 4? We know that 1 times 4 is 4. So here you are. You found it. So you will write it down here, and the hero that gave you this 4 is the 1. So here it is written here. So then we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then you drop this 8 down here because you didn't use it yet. Now you will start looking for the 8. You're looking here in the times table of the number 4. So let's continue. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So here you are. You found it. So you will write it here. And the hero that gave it to you is what is the 2. So you will take the 2. You will write it here up here next to the 1. Then you subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. So you're done. You don't have anything left. There is no remainder. And you finished your division problem. So you're gonna say that 48 divided by 4 equals that 12, which is here. Now let's continue. 53 divided by the number 5. Now we take the first number, which is the 5. The 5 is equal to the 5. Then yay, you're ready to start. Now you will look for this 5. We know that 1 times 5 is 5, so here you are, you found it. You will write it down here, and you will write the hero for your hero, which is the 1 up here, and it's written for you. Then you subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0. Now you still have the 3 that you didn't use it, so here you are, you drop it or you bring it down here. Now let's look for the 3. The 3 is what is less than the 5. We can't use it because we can't divide it. But is there any method that we can get a 3? Yes, from the times table of this number. Now here we know 1 times 5. Before 1 times 5, what is the number that is before the 1? It's the number 0. So 0 times 5 is 0. So you can write the 0 here. And 3 minus 0, and what is the number that gave it to you? Here, the heroes. Like here, the 0 is from this part. And the 0 that is here, it's from the hero. So the hero that gave it to you is also the 0. Now you subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. So of course you can't divide the 3 anymore, so you will say it is your remainder. You will write it here. So the answer for this problem is 10. This is the 10. And the remainder is 3. Now there is an easy way to do this. Just from looking here, it is like 53 divided by 5, right? Now just from looking, you can consider that this number, the 53, as a 50 instead of a 53. And you will say 50 divided by 5. This is an easy one. We know it from the times table. It's of course a 10. Then you will say the remainder is what is the 3 that is left here. So the remainder is 3. Like this is an easy problem that you can do just from looking. And here's the same thing. We have 67 divided by the number 6. Let's try to do this one. Now you will take the first number, which is what? Which is the 6. Now you will start looking for it in the times table of the number 6. Let's see. 1 times 6 is 6, and here you are, you found it. You will write it down here, and your hero is what? Is the 1 in this case. So let's write here the heroes. So the hero is 1 here. Then you subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Then you bring the 7 down. the 7 divided by 6. Let's look for it. Here you have 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. As you can see, the 12 is bigger than the 7, so we can't use it. We're gonna cross it and we will take the 6 again. We will write the 6 here, and the hero that gave it to you again, it's 1. So you will write it here. Now you subtract. 7 minus 0 is 1. Now as you can see, the 1 is smaller than the 6, so you can't divide it. It's impossible to find it from the times table of the number 6, so you will say this one is your remainder. So the answer is 11 and the remainder is 1. Here we have some other problems. 33 divided by 3. Let's now we will take the first number, which is the 3. You will look for it in the times table of the number 3. Now we know that 1 times 3 is 3. So here you are, you found it. You will write it down here, and the hero that gave it to you is what? Is the 1. You will write it up here. Here's the heroes, and we will write them up here. Now you subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0. Then you bring the other 3 down here that you didn't use it yet. So of course you will look for this 3 again, and of course here you are, it's a 3 again. So you will write it here, and the hero again is 1. Then you subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0, so you don't have anything left. You are ready, you did it. Here's the answer, it's 11. And of course we know that from the times table that 33 divided by 3 equals 11. Now let's take the other one, number 7. 73 divided by 3. We start and we take only the 7. The 7 is bigger than the 3 here. So yes, you are ready to start. We're gonna start looking for the 7 in the times table of the number 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Oh, this is the problem. You have a 9. The 9 is bigger than the 7 that you're looking for, so you can't use it. You will take the number before it, which is what? Which is the 6. You will write it down here, and the hero that gave you the 6 is what? Here it is. It is the number 2. You will write it up here. Now you subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Then you bring the other number, which is the 3, down here. Now you start take the first number, 1. Is this number, the 1, bigger than or equal than the 3? The answer is no. The 1 is less than the 3, so you can't use it alone. So you have to take both of the numbers. 13. Now you will start looking for this 13 in the times table of the number 3. Here you have a 9, so let's continue. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, the 15 is bigger than the 13, so you can't use it. You will take the number before it, which is the 12. You will write the 12 here, and the hero here this time was what? The 4. You will write it up here. Next you subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is just 0, so this 1 is smaller than the 3. You can't use it, you can't divide it, so you will consider it as your remainder. So you will say the answer is 24, the remainder is 1. Now let's do this problem. Here you have the 96 divided by 9. Now this problem it looks like what? It looks like this one. You can do it just from looking. If you took, because when we can do this method that we can do it from looking, if we have we know that 9 times 10 equals what? 90. 5 times 10 equals what? 50. So if we have numbers like that, 52, 53, a number that it's a multiple of 50, like that, and you have some small number next to it, just like here we had 53, and this time we have 96. So here's a number that is smaller than the 9. So just from looking, if we took this 6 away, if we took it away, like we consider this number as 90, and we said that 90 divided by 9, of course it equals to the 10, and then you add this small number, which is the 6, and the remainder is a 6. So you will say the answer is 10, the remainder is a 6. So let's continue here because it was an easy one. This is why I don't want to do it in steps. Let's do this one here. 69 divided by 3. Let's write it. We will do like that. You will take the first number, you will write it here, 69, and the second number, the divisor, you will write it here, out here. Now, you take the first number, the 6. Is this number bigger than or equal than the 3? Yes, you are ready to start. Let's look for the 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Here you are. You found it. And the hero that gave it to you is what? Is the 2. So you will write it down here, and you will write the hero up here. Then you subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Now you drop the 9 down. You will start looking for this 9. Let's continue. 3 times 3 is 9. So yes, you found it. You will write it here. And the hero is what? Is the 3. You will write it next to it here. Now you subtract. 9 minus 9 is 0. So you finished. And your answer is 23. So here you are. You write the answer here. Now you have 77 divided by 3. Let's do it. Let's do it where? Maybe here. 77 divided by 3. Let's take the first number. Here you are, the 7. And let's look for it. Of course, the 7 is bigger than the 3, so you are ready to start. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. No, you have a number that is bigger than the 7. You can't use it. You will cross it. You will take the number before it, which is the 6. You will write it here. And the hero this time is what? Is the number 2. You will write it up here, 2. Now you subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. Then you drop the other 7 down here. Now, the 1 alone is smaller than the 3. You can't use it alone. You have to take both of them. You have to take the 17. You will start looking for it in the times table of the number 3. Let's continue. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. As you can see, the 18 is bigger than the 17. You can't use it. You have to take the number before it, which is the 15, and the hero and this time is what? Is the 5. You will write it up here. Now you subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 1 is just 0. Now the 2 is smaller than 3, so we cannot divide it, so we will consider it as our remainder. So you will say the answer is 25, the remainder is 2. So here is your answer. It's the same here. It's written like already here. So this is your answer. Now let's continue. We have a 99 divided by 4. Let's do it. We take the first number, 99. We write it inside. The divisor, we write it out. Now, we take the first number again, the 9. Now, we're gonna start looking for the 9 in the times table of the number 4. Let's start. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. As you can see, I got a number that is bigger than the 9. I got a 12. I can't use it. I have to use the 8. I will write it here. And the hero that gave me this 8 is what? Is the 2. So I will write it up here, the 2. Now we subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1, and we drop the other 9 down here. Now we're going to start looking for the 19 in the times table of the number 2. Let's continue. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. As you can see, 20 is bigger than the 19. We can't use it. We have to take the number before it, which is the 16. I will write it here. And the hero this time was the 4. So I will write the 4 here. Now I subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. And 1 minus 1 is just 0. Now as you can see, the 3 is less than the 4. So I can't divide it. So I will consider this as my remainder. So the answer is 24 and the remainder is 3. Now let's continue, and here is all our answers until now. Here we are. Let's do 12, 13 and 14. Now x divided by 2 equals 12. Now to do this, or to find x equals to what? We know that x is a big number. It's going to be the biggest number. So it's going to be a big number divided by 2 equals to what? Equals to this 12. Now the easiest method to solve this question is by fact family. So how can we do it? We can do it with the check method that we learned at the first and the second lesson. So we're gonna do what? We're gonna write the times table of the number 2. Okay, so let's try to do it. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is what? Is 10. 6 times 2 is what? 12. Now 7 times 2 is what? Is 14. 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 2 is 18. 10 times 2 is 20. 11 times 2 is 11 times 2 is 22, and 12 times 2 equals 24. And here we are. We have the 2, it's here, so check. And we have the 12 here, a check. So what is the missing number? It's a 24. So x is going to be a 24. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Let's check that by the method that we just learned. So here it's a 24. Let's write a 24 here and divide it by 2. So let's take the first number, the 2, and look for it in the times table of the number 2. 1 times 2 is 2, so here we are, the 2, and the hero here is 1. Now we subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0, then we drop the 4. Now we look for the 4. 2 times 2 is 4, so here we are, we found it, and the hero this time is 2. Now we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0, so here we are, this is correct, the answer is 12, just like it's written here. So basically, to solve this problem we take this 12 and we multiply it by 2. So we can do it by multiplication. We can do it by this method, the check method or the fact family. And we can do it by this method, the place value. So you can solve it by any kind of problems you want. Or any kind of methods, let's say you want. Now let's look at number 13. Now as you can see, this is a regular division. 48 divided by 4. We will do it by this method. 48 divided by 4. Now we take the first number, the 4. We're going to look for it in the times table of the number 4. We know that 1 times 4 is 4, so here we are, we found it. and the hero this time is 1. You write it up here. Then you subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Now you bring down the 8. Now 8 divided by 4. Let's continue times table. We're gonna look for the 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Here we are, we found it. And the hero this time was the 2. Now you subtract 0, so the answer for this problem is 12. Now here we have 75 divided by 5. Let's write it again. Now we take the first number, the 7. We're gonna start looking for it because it's bigger than the 5, so we are ready. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 is bigger than the 7. We can't use it. We will cross it. We will write 5 here. We will take the number before to choose the 5. And the hero this time was what was the 1. So we will write the heroes up here. Here's the 1. Now you subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. Yes, it's 2. And the 5, you will drop it here. Now, the 2, if you took it alone, is smaller than the 5. So we can't find it alone. We have to take both of the numbers, which is the 25. We will start looking for the 25 in the times table of the number 5. So let's try to find that. I'm sorry, I will just write them. Okay, let's continue. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. So here you are, you found it. And the hero this time was what? The 5. So you will write the 25 here. Then you subtract 0, 0. So nothing left. The answer for this problem is 15. Now as you can see, the division depends directly on the times table. We cannot divide without knowing the times table. This is why it is very, very, very important to know and to remember all of the times tables. Now let's do the problem solving. There are 8 lions, 4 tigers, 5 cheetahs, 6 giraffes, 7 hippos, and 78 monkeys at the city zoo. If each of the 4 zookeepers feeds the same number of animals, how many animals does each zookeeper feed? Explain. So we know that we have this number of animals. We have a lot of animals. And we know also that there's only 4 zookeepers. So we want to find out how many each of these zookeepers feed. So the first step is we need to add all of these animals. We're gonna add all of them. So let's see. Here we have 8 lions plus 4 tigers plus 5 and plus 6 and plus 7 and plus 78, and that's it, right? Now what do? We add all of them. If we added them, we will get 108. So this is the total number of the animals. So now we will take the total number of the animals, 108. We will divide that over 4, which is what? Which is the number of the zookeepers. And let's try to do that by the method that we just learned. 108 divided by, this is a 0, okay, 4. Now, let's take the first number, which is what? The 1. The 1 is less than the 4, so I can't take it alone. I will take the second number with it, which is the 10. The 10 is bigger than the 4, okay, then we are ready. Let's look for the 10. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to write that, to highlight that in yellow, just like we saw before. We're gonna look for the 10. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12. No, the 12 is bigger than the 10. I can take it. I will take the 8. So the 8, I will write it here. And the hero this time was what? Was the 2. I will write it up here. Next we subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. and 2 of course smaller than the 4. I can't use it. I have to drop the 8 down. Now let's look for the 8 in the times table of the number 4. Let's continue. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24. 7 times 4 is 28. So here we are. We found it. And the hero this time was what? The 7. Here's the 28 and the hero. I will write it up here. Next I subtract 0, 0. Now the answer is what? The answer is 27. Now let's see here. Marlene makes $4 an hour babysitting. If she earned 48, how many hours did she babysit? So we will divide that. 48 divided by 4 equals what? Let's see. 48 divided by 4. Let's divide. Now we will take the first number, the 4. We will start looking for it in the times table of the number 4. We know that 1 times 4 is 4, so here we are, we found it. We write it here, and the hero this time was 1. Now we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. Then we bring the 8 down. We will start looking for it. 2 times 4 is 8. So here we found it. The 8 is here, and the hero this time was the 2. Now we subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. So the answer is 12. So she babysat for 12 hours. Next, 7 scouts need to sell 75 boxes of cookies. Each scout gets the same number of boxes. How many boxes will be left to sell? As you can see here, he's asking about how many boxes will be left. Something is going to be left. So he's asking about what? About what is going to be left after this division, which is what? The remainder. So as you can see, he's asking about the remainder. So we need to divide, and we will see how many or what is the remainder with us. So let's say 75 divided by what? By 7 scots. Let's do that. This problem is one of the problems that we can do just from looking, because the tens is equal to the divisor. So directly you're going to say the number is equal to 10. The answer, the division problem is 10. And the remainder is what we have left here, which is the 5. And let's divide to make sure that our answer is correct. Now we take the first number, the 7. It's equal to the 7 here. So we know that 1 times 7 is 7. So we will write the 7 here. And the hero was what? The 1. Next we subtract 0. And we bring the 5 down. Now we can't take the 5. We can't just consider it as the 5. We can't find it from the times table of the number 7 because it's just not there. It's smaller than the 7. So we can't find it from what? 0 times 7 is 0. So we will write here the 0, and also the hero is going to be a 0. Now we subtract. So here a 5. So the 5 is what is smaller than the 7. We can't divide it, so it's going to be our remainder. So here the answer is 10. The remainder is 5. So how many boxes will be left to sell? The answer is 5 boxes. So here we are. We finished the lesson. I hope you get it. And trust me, the only way to get this lesson is by practicing. You have to practice a lot. Don't forget to do the homework to practice this lesson a lot. Here we forgot to write that. The answer is 28 and the remainder is 1. So I hope you find this video helpful, and good luck.